This week on the Analog Circle podcast, the Nintendo Switch 2 will be missing a very important feature when the console is docked. It's one of the things that they were priding themselves on. We get a small update on EA Motive's upcoming Iron Man project. Oh, this game is shaping up to be something very, very interesting, possibly. We get a few Rockstar rumors outside of GTA 6, and some of these rumors are very, very promising. And PlayStation's price, the PS5, could be going up in its price point very, very soon. But all of these stories can be found here and a lot more in episode 257 of the Analog Circle podcast. I am your host, Kiaun Mitchell, and welcome to the show. Welcome. Come on in, sit down and relax because we are going to have a great conversation today. And if you're traveling, then hopefully we can accompany you to your destination. Now, as always, if you do want to be a part of listener feedback, and shout out to you, brother Cody Clark, I'm going to have to hit your email up next week because I am on a tight window. But if you do want to be a part of listener feedback, do it two different ways. You can either call in at 443-627-9087 and let your voice be heard, or you can email the show. And the email address is simply the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get into what we all come here for. And that is no doubt the gaming news that went down. Now, Cody, I do want to shout you out, brother. I do want to let you know something. Cody had actually hit me up with a very, very interesting situation with Bungie. Now, Bungie was out there stealing. Jokers was digitally stealing artwork from other creators out there. But I will say that as it stands right now, Cody, because when me and Cody had talked before, Bungie had not come out to say anything about these claims that have been proven to be true. But since we've talked, Cody, I believe Destin, he had actually, the guy that used to work for IGN, he actually covered it, and he did say that Bungie did come out and actually apologize, talking about they want to make it right. They want to give the people who the artwork belonged to, want to give them their credit and want to make things correct with them. So hopefully that situation will get resolved eventually, but they said that this isn't the first, and you said this to me, Cody, in our conversation, this isn't the first, the second, or the third time that Bungie has been proven to have stolen artwork. This is like the fourth time that they have come up on charges with this. So hopefully Bungie will eventually get this thing together, and hopefully as well, they will take care of the people that they were stealing from. God dog, where is the QE? Was it quality control QC with this situation? It's very, very, it is interesting, but you know what? This happens every day. Big companies come in, they muscle their way in, they take people's art, they take people's ideas, they do these things on a regular basis. So this is not shocking. It's just a situation where if you are going to do it, good grief, could you just look out for the artists? At least give them their credit. Shout them out. Let people know who you got the artwork from. Even that could go somewhere. I mean, people would preferably like to be paid for their services, or their artwork or whatever it is that they're working on. Monetarily, gains are always better than, thanks for helping us out with this. Nah, y'all are a multi-billion-dollar company because y'all are under Sony. Y'all got to make that right. This is not fake outrage. It's just like, golly, y'all been out here stealing like a mug. This is your fourth charge. Man, oh man, what to say? 3 strikes and you out. These jokers said we're going for extra innings. We want to do a little bit more. So yeah, we'll see what happens with this situation. But as it stands, if you guys are interested in this story, you can definitely check out Destin Legary, I think his name is. You can definitely go to his YouTube channel and he has more information right there. But definitely shout out to you, Cody, for that story. Greatly appreciated, my brother. Thank you. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's get into our first story this week that I actually got from Windows Central. So I want to start things off this week with one of my favorite developers, which is Moon Studios. Now, it appears that things haven't been going as smooth for them lately with their latest project titled No Rest for the Wicked. So much so that Moon Studios CEO and creative director Thomas Mahler had this to say, and I quote, man, this joker right here. Oh, he had more than a mouthful to say, but let me get to it. He says, quote, folks, if you're writing here and are enjoying Wicked and are excited for future updates, but haven't left a positive review, it's entirely possible that we won't be around in a couple of months to do anything anymore, simply because we got review bombed, which leads to people not buying the game, which means we're not making any money and we'll have to shut down. He said shut down, end of quote.
What did he say?
This brother said they got to close up shop because people are out here review bombing. They're not giving positive reviews, and as a result, the game is hurting. Now, Mahler continues. He says, and I quote, God, dog, this brother continues to have more to say. He says, not sure people understand that they participate in potentially killing the studio they want to see succeed by leaving their negative reviews. End of quote. So it really seems like the picture Mahler is painting is they're in dire straits financially. I mean, they already said that if this keeps up, we keep getting these negative reviews and keep getting review bombed, the studio that y'all claim y'all want to see win, that y'all claim y'all want to see make this game better, we might not be around in a couple of months because of this. So if y'all want us to be around, stop review bombing, stop giving these negative reviews on our game because we are at the drags right now. I mean, he's painting this crazy grim picture, but to the contrary, on May 11th, Thomas Mahler comes out on Twitter and says that the company is in, quote, no immediate financial danger.
Boo this man!
Are you kidding me? So what, at one point in time, his brother's out here saying, man, y'all got to help us out. We are drowning right now. We need your support. But the thing is, so now he actually gave a reason why he said this. He said that his comments were designed to, quote, push back, end of quote, against negative reviews that were in his mind politically motivated. I have to say, Mr. Thomas Mahler, as any of us know, nobody is above the program. Now, here it is. Now, what I hear on Steam, because this is where I'm hearing that a lot of these different reviews are coming from. Steam is a little different when it comes to their reviews, from my understanding. You have to actually own the game. You have to have had some time put in the game in order to make a review. Now, granted, that doesn't necessarily mean that people are going to be fair. But ultimately, from what I understand, the game has been getting overall positive reviews. You know what? Don't take my word for it. let's go to Gemini real quick and let's see what Gemini has to say about this situation. I'm going to pull it up right now because I don't want to give false information. Let's see if I can put this in words. Okay. What is No Rest for the Wicked sitting at as far as the score on Steam?
As of Sunday, May 18th, 2025, the user score for No Rest for the Wicked on Steam is mostly positive, with 77% of the 39,690 user reviews being positive. More specifically, all reviews, mostly positive, 39,690 reviews total, 77% positive. Recent reviews, very positive.
Oh, you ain't got to go in all that, Gemini. You ain't got to go in all that. So here it is, mostly positive. So this guy is capping to the third degree. This guy is, I'm not going to say nah, man, that's kind of, man, that's a lie. God darn. I mean, if this was Maury, and you telling the doggone truth, that was a lie. 77% are positive. It says all reviews mostly positive. Reviews total 77% positivity. And it says recent reviews very positive. Reviews in the last 30 days is 82%. So come on, man. I don't understand. Here it is. You got this guy. And again, this is not fake outrage. It's just, I don't understand what some of these guys want sometimes. And No Rest for the Wicked is not a finished game. It's still in beta right now. So I'm not going to say the man is crying, but what are you complaining for? Here it is. These reviews are positive. Then you come out having people think that you guys are in dire straits financially just to come out and say that the company is, quote, in, quote, no immediate financial danger, end of quote. And then to say that what you were saying was just, quote, pushback against what you call politically motivated negative reviews. So I just don't get it. Look, listen. Moon Studios is definitely one of my favorites. The Ori franchise has been nothing short of astounding, just fantastic platforming. I mean, platforming at its finest level. So, I mean, look, you got a ton of positive reviews with Ori. You can't have it both ways. Listen, you gotta finish the game. You can't get mad you can do what you want to. I mean, it's a free country. You can feel how you want to feel. But you can't, I'm not going to say you can't do anything. Listen, all I'm trying to say is I'm trying to figure out what is this all about? Look, the game isn't done. Finish the game. That's what I'm waiting on. I wanted No Rest for the Wicked. But once I found out that the game was in beta and it continues to be in beta and they said it could be in beta for the next few years, I said, oh, heck no, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this at all. So my thing is, look, Mr. Mallard, you can feel how you want to feel, but it sounds like overall, most people agree that you have a great product. Just finish it. Just finish it. Get it done. And I'm sure that, whatever you're looking for, sir, I'm sure that it'll be there. But we'll see what happens with this situation. Again, Moon Studios doesn't seem like they are in any kind of immediate danger of shutting down from Mr. Thomas Mahler himself, the CEO of Moon Studios. So we'll just have to wait and see. Again, I'm still a big fan of what they do. I love the studio, but this is like out of the blue. I don't understand, what this had to do with anything, but we will see. I'm not going to waste any more time on this one. Let's get into the next story though, guys, that I got from WCCF Tech. So let's get into a little bit of what we all know as some rumors.
Rumor has it it's something that only I know.
So a port of GTA 4 could be coming to current consoles if a report by a well-known Rockstar leaker, whose name is Tez2, is anything to go off of. So he pointed out that somebody at Rockstar hinted at a port of the fourth title in the franchise. Of course, I'm talking about GTA 4. They had hinted at this in the past, and by now it should have been in development a year, 1 year, and that the port should be released by the end of the year. Now, we also pointed out that this is one of the reasons the Liberty City Preservation Project, which recreated the entirety of the Grand Theft Auto 4 main city and Grand Theft Auto 5, was taken down, along with other reasons. So, also, according to Tez, Rockstar will, well, wait a minute, before we even get into that. So, this is the thing. It would be awesome to see Grand Theft Auto 4 come to current generation hardware, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S. It would be awesome. I would love to see those load times get shrunk down to seconds versus how it was back on the 360 and the PS3. But the key word here, people have been saying it's going to be a remaster or it's going to be a remake. No, the key word is port. We got to remember they're saying a port of PlayStation 4. So I've been seeing a couple of articles that have been saying that, no, this is going to be a full-blown remake or remaster. My thing is, oh, man, see, Rockstar, and I know it wasn't Rockstar that actually worked on those games, but the remasters that we got for this current generation was a Grand Theft Auto 3, I think it was Vice City, and San Andreas. How those jokers were not well received. They did not do a good job on those ports. And again, it wasn't Rockstar that worked on them, but whatever team it was that worked on those remakes, man, matter of fact, I got to figure this out.
150 reviews.
Oh, no. Don't do that. Hold on. I want to make this just a little bit more clearer for you guys. Hold on. Here we go. Let me just do this so y'all can hear the information just a little bit better. I got a couple of minutes here. Let's see. Yeah, that's on. And if it doesn't scan fast enough, I'm going to have to just let this thing go. All right. Yeah, there it is. Let me get that going real quick. All right. Now we're going to figure out who it was that actually did those remakes. Who worked on the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Grand Theft Auto 3 remasters?
The Definitive Edition, released on November 11, 2021, and includes remasters of Grand Theft Auto 3 and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, as well as Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Here's a breakdown of what you should know about these remasters. Grand Theft Auto, the trilogy, the Definitive Edition. This package includes remastered versions of Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Oh, you ain't got to do all that. My bad, y'all. My bad. Anyway, those people that made those, they didn't do a good job. My bad. I wasted like 5 minutes of y'all life with that. My apologies. Listen, the thing is this. Grand Theft Auto 4 doesn't seem like it's going to be remastered or a remake. It seems like it's going to simply be a port. Now, if they do any extra work to it, I think we would all love to see Grand Theft Auto 4 with HDR, better graphics, better sound. I mean, the whole gamut if they were going to do it, but it doesn't seem like that is the case. Now, the other thing that they have been speaking about, it was another article. I wish I remembered the name of it, but they were also saying that Red Dead Redemption 2 was going to be coming to current generation consoles and that would actually be getting a few upgrades, like 60 frames per second, maybe 4K graphics possibly. Just a couple of extra things. But if you guys remember, it was last year sometime that they had showed off this Grand Theft, this Red Dead Redemption 2 trailer. Now, it was never officially shown to the public, but it was a trailer that said that it was actually coming to Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. It was going to be a remaster of Red Dead Redemption. Of course, we didn't get anything on it. That trailer looked legit. Of course, we know that nowadays anybody can make most things look real. So, who's to say if it was really real back then? But that is also another rumor that, again, Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming to current generation hardware with some upgrades as well. Now, the other thing that they're saying about Rockstar that they have coming out this year is going to be a modern port of Max Payne 3 over to modern consoles as well, which would be fitting, knowing that Max Payne 1 and 2 remakes are on the way. But that's only if Rockstar follows their plan laid out from the pandemic days. But as always, like I said, man, take all of this information with a mustard seed of truth. I would darn sure love to see a Max Payne 3 situation. Again, they're saying ports is ports. It's not saying remasters or remakes, so just keep that in the back of your mind. I still have Max Payne 3 on the, what's that on the 360? I can't even remember what did Max Payne 3 come out on? I don't think it was Xbox One, was it? Was it 3? I can't remember. Maybe it was. But yeah, Max Payne 3, I still have it. I think that was on Xbox One. Man, who the world knows? Listen, man, I ain't gonna waste your time like this. Let's go ahead, man, and let's get into the next situation of a story that I got from Games Radar. Man, I am so off because I got to be to work in about 3 hours. So I'm trying to get this in before I go. But I know for some in the climate, that we're in, some of us are wondering, when is Sony going, when is Sony going to raise their console prices? Well, I got to tell you now, when I wrote this article, I had said at that point in time, it doesn't seem like that's their aim to do it directly without an incentive attached. But right now, this is what I will say before I get into the other situation with PlayStation. So right now on the official Sony online store and select retailers, including GameStop, you can purchase a new PlayStation 5 bundle that includes 24 months of PlayStation Plus Premium. Now, putting things in perspective, for 1 year of PlayStation Plus, it would cost $160 for a year, which is $320 over a 2-year period. But Sony is selling the physical PlayStation 5 bundle for $580. So just thinking about it, a physical PlayStation 5 alone costs around $500 with no bundle. So in actuality, this could save someone maybe about $240 or so. So, cause if you're getting PlayStation Plus and a PlayStation 5, and you're getting PlayStation Plus for 2 years, that's going to be about $820. So yeah, when you put it in perspective, paying $580, it's going to save you around $240. So, it is a pretty darn good value. But the thing is, when I was writing this article earlier last week, I said, hold on, as always, you always get updated information, and some updated information actually came out, and I am going to find it right now. And it actually came here we go. This is Insider Gaming. Now, Insider Gaming, they said that the CFO, Lin Tao, his name is spelled T-A-O. This is the Sony CFO, Lin Tao. He said the company currently needs to find approximately 100 billion yen, which is equivalent to $512 million, to make up for the impact on the current tariffs. Now, we said, and I quote, in terms of the tariffs, we are not just simply calculating the simple tariffs prices to come up with 100 billion yen, but are thinking about the current available information and looking at the market trend. We may, and this is very important, he says, we may pass the price to customers and also shipment allocation. So we are taking different measures and managing to come up to the 100 billion yen. God, dog. Sheesh. So everybody that thought that Sony was going to make sure that, oh no, we are playing nice. We're the market leader. Why do we need to doggone make our console prices even higher? We're the market leader. We're not gonna do that. All of a sudden, you see this PlayStation bundle come out with 2 years of PlayStation Plus. By the way, speaking of PlayStation Plus, now they didn't say anything about the might have been premium. So they did like a survey where like 4% of people thought that PlayStation Plus premium, I believe, was worth the money, which makes me believe that is why these jokers are including it in the box for 2 years. 2 years, they're going to put it in the box. Great value. I'm not going to take that away from them. It's a great value. You save a couple of $100. But if you have a service, oh man, yeah, we're going to go over that later. I'm going to ask y'all that. But if you have a service that 4% of people say are worth the money, whoa, that means you are failing big time with that service if only 4% of your player base thinks that it is worth the money. Y'all know I don't even have PlayStation Plus flat, whatever you want to call it, regular PlayStation Plus, because I don't play online and all of that jazz right there. It's not my thing. So it's darn sure not worth it to me. But when you up it up to the premium or the platinum situation, only 4%. Oh, I see why you're including it in the box, because you need those numbers to go up. Oh, man, Sony. But yeah, so you got that situation going on. Hey, listen, if you're in the market for a PlayStation 5 or a PlayStation 5 Pro, you might want to strike right now because, again, according to the Sony CFO, his name, again, if you don't remember, was Mr. Lin Teo. He said they need to come up with $512 million to make up for the impact of the current tariffs. So he said that, and this was a quote. Might have to get that out of the customer base. Might have to just pass that cost on over to y'all. So right now, while you got a window, you might want to pick up this PlayStation 5, not even the bundle per se, but just a PlayStation 5 in general. Because it seems like eventually things just might start to go south when it comes to the price of the PlayStation 5 itself. Let's get into this article that I actually got from Forbes. So, it's not my type of game. I got to say, this is really not my jam too much. But let's talk about some DLC that we're going to be getting from some new DLC from Elden Ring. So, this new DLC in the form of the Tarnished Pack is coming to Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. Now, it's not going to be a ton of content, but it will include 2 new starting classes, as well as 3 new looks for Torrent, your horse. I guess Torrent is the name of the horse. And 4 new armor sets are also coming to the game, 2 of which come with the new starting classes. Now, the 2 new starting classes are Knight of Itis and the Heavy Armored Knight. Now, unfortunately, there is no release date for this DLC, but hopefully, maybe, just maybe, it'll be out before the end of the year. Let's go ahead, guys, and let's get into this article that I got from Polygon. Well, we got some very sad, but not unexpected news this week about Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra, which is one of my most anticipated games. This has Amy Hennig at the helm. This is Unreal Engine 5. This is superheroes. God dog, did you see that trailer? It looks absolutely amazing. Haven't seen anything on it lately, but that's what got me so excited. So yeah, definitely one of my most highly anticipated games, but this is where they broke my heart because via Twitter, they actually put out a statement where they said, and I quote, "We have an important update. Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra will now be launching in early 2026. These chokers said early 2026. Oh, man. Early 2026. Oh, the pain. God dog. Says taking this additional time will allow us to add more polish and make sure we give you the best possible experience and one that lives up to our vision. We have some exciting things in store and look forward to sharing more soon. The Marvel 1943 team. End of quote. I heard this news, God dog, the pain. Oh, the pain. I said, doggone it. I should have known, though. Y'all remember a couple of months ago, we had talked about a story where one of the voice actors on the game said that they were looking for the game to actually release in December. And I was just so hopeful. I mean, I had the blinders on my eyes. I said, it's going to happen. We're going to make it. They're going to make it out before the end of this year. Like I said, when you're excited about certain things, you're willing to put reality to the side sometimes and just say, I think it can happen. It can happen. December was a dead giveaway that this wasn't coming out this year. When that brother said it's going to be out by December, I should have known. No, it's going to slip into next year. But the good thing is, the one positive thing, and maybe two different positive things that can come out of this story is, one, we know that it's going to be early next year, so possibly first quarter, between January and March of next year when this game actually releases. And the second thing is that since this game is so close, I mean, it's so far, but yet close enough to being released, then maybe we get more gameplay this year. Maybe we get some gameplay on Xbox's stage, because I don't know what Sony is doing. I'm holding on to hope that these jokers are going to actually do a show this year, but oh, no, man, we in May. We are like in the middle of May. And right now we haven't heard a doggone thing from PlayStation saying that they are going to have a show. So if that's the case, then hopefully Microsoft, Xbox, maybe this actually shows up on their stage, because I'm telling you again, if you have not seen the graphics on this game, just look it up on YouTube. It is absolutely amazing to look at in the detail. When you saw Black Panther walking and he said, I don't take orders from anyone, and you see him walking with his doggone claws out, you know, on his right hand and whatnot, looking like he ready for some action. You could see that it was so detailed that they had this moment where they actually unmasked Black Panther, and you saw the actual actor, his face actually contorting and getting upset underneath the mask. It was just incredible detail. Now, again, we got to wait to see how the game actually comes out. I know Amy Hennig, she said that everything you saw today is real time. This is not something we do. We don't do the switcheroo, as it were. You know, what you see is what you get. So if that is the case and they need that much time, just a couple more months, man, you know, it hurts. But we always talk about wanting the best product to be released first and not having to have 100 different updates that are coming out as the game has already been released. Because truth of the matter is, you only get one time to make a great impression. So if that's what it takes and we got to wait a little bit longer, then so be it. Hopefully we'll just get some new news about the game as the year goes on, similar to what Rockstar did with Grand Theft Auto 6. Yeah, they hit us with a bombshell in a bad way, but they made up for it in the end by actually showing us off a trailer. That's enough, you know, for some of us to just be able to wait out that whole extra year, you know, to see anything new. Just cushions the blow a little bit. So hopefully these guys over there that are working on Marvel 1943, Rise of Hydra, will do the same for us. But let's go ahead, guys. And I want to talk about this article that I actually got from Gamitsu. So, and more news, man. Now, this was great news right here. Mortal Kombat 1 Definitive Edition is out now for Xbox Series, and PlayStation 5. It's even out on the Switch. Now, I don't know who is picking up Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch. Oh my gosh, why would you do this to yourself? But it's going to be on Switch, and it's also going to be on PC. And this is the craziest thing. This game is going to cost $70. Now, you might be saying, well, why is that so crazy? God, dog, listen to how much they give you in this package. It comes with the Chaos Reign story expansion, Combat Pack 2, Combat Pack 1, which between the two packs gives you access to 14 characters, including Conan the Barbarian, Ghostface, the T-1000, and Peacemaker, to name a few. Then you get all 5 cameo fighters, all the animalities, you get the movie skins, you get 1,250 dragon crystals. God dog, I don't know what the heck a dragon crystal is. It's got to be some currency or something like that. But you get, that and a lot more for $70. I mean, this is a gang of content for a fantastic, if not phenomenal price point. So shout out to Warner Brothers, WB Games, and the Mortal Kombat staff. Man, I might have to pick this up my darn self. Oh man, I hit the wrong doggone button. My bad. Anyway, darn. I'm sorry. That's just great value. Ain't no rumors there, brothers. Ain't no rumors. Darn. I mean, listen, they said the WB is down a little bit this year. Whew, this is what desperate times get you. $70 for all of that content. And I believe it was Ed Boon that actually came out and said it was a couple more years worth of content that were left. But unfortunately, we know how that kind of went with that situation. But, you know, speaking of Mortal Kombat, now I just hit that button a little too early, but I do want to get back into some rumors one more time.
Rumor has it is something that only I know.
I got to say, man, that this one right here, this kind of got me. This was a last minute situation too. So it's a reliable, and I got to give credit. So this actually came from The Gamer. So reliable Warner Brothers leaker, he suggests that Injustice 3 is the next game from NetherRealm, not another Mortal Kombat. So again, I just talked about it last week. Mortal Kombat 1's Definitive Edition had came out. You know, the game was ready, and pretty much that game has come to an end. That thing is over. So seems that NetherRealm might be working on its next game now, too, as, like I said, a reliable leaker has shared an unsubtle tease. Now, the tease implies that the next title, and I mentioned it, is Injustice 3. So if that is the case, now I played the Injustice 2? Yeah, I did on Xbox One. I actually have it, and that game was fun. The thing I love about NetherRealm games, and I've only played Injustice 2 and Mortal Kombat. What was the last? Not this Mortal Kombat, but the Mortal Kombat before this one. Was that Mortal Kombat 11? I believe, where it had Rambo. It had, what was it? It was another Arnold Schwarzenegger character as well. I think it was the Terminator. I think was in there. I think Spawn was in there. It was Spawn that really made me pick up that game. Seeing Spawn in a video game looking that good, I said, God, dog, I got to pick this up. And I had a blast with that game. So much so, the thing that I realized, now I know that was Mortal Kombat and I was supposed to be talking about Injustice, but the thing that both of those games had in common that gets me excited to want to pick up Mortal Kombat 1 Definitive Edition and possibly this Injustice 3 is they all have stories. They actually have real stories to the games. And that's what always hooks me. If you have a good story, it can be a fighting game. It can be whatever. I mean, in reason. I ain't going to say I'm going to be out here playing no doggone tactical games. That's just not going to happen, like Command & Conquer, that kind of stuff. Nah, we ain't doing that. But I mean, a game within reason, if it has a good story and it's a game that I kind of like, but might not like as much as others, as far as the genre goes, like fighting games, I'm really not into fighting games outside of boxing. Anything outside of boxing, it's a toss up. But that story, though, in Mortal Kombat, like I said, I think it was 11, I really, really was digging the story. So hopefully, with that being said, as well with Injustice 2, this Injustice 3, hopefully it'll be the same situation and they'll have the story on point. Have the characters on point, the whole nine. I definitely look forward to seeing what does happen with this, if it is true or not. But we know WB, again, they're going through a hard time, real hard time financially. We'll just have to see what happens with the whole situation with them as a whole, in the long run. But after this, let's see, we are coming close to the end of we ain't coming nowhere near close to the end of the show. I'm going to see if I can get y'all out of here in an hour, though. But this is in quick news, and actually got this from Gamatsu. So for anybody anticipating Tokyo Game Show 2025, the event will take place on September 25th through the 28th. So mark it on your calendars. Yeah, that's always a pretty fun show. I mean, most of the time, whenever I've seen Tokyo Game Show as of late, it's kind of a lot of the same things we might have seen with a couple of different things kind of, sprinkled in there, here and there. But again, that's going to be happening in September. So let's talk about some Prince of Persia news that I actually got from Inside Gaming. So this is more of an update on the remake of Prince of Persia, Sands of Time. So Ubisoft announced in its latest earnings call that the game will release by April of 2026. Now, the last update we got about the game was back in around like 2024, where it was being reported that the game was being rebuilt from the ground up. But at least now we have an actual time frame for its release. And maybe if Ubisoft has a showcase this summer, just like I was talking about with Microsoft, maybe if Ubisoft has a showcase, we could possibly get a closer look at the game sometime this summer. We'll have to see, though, because I haven't heard anything about a Ubisoft show happening. Ubisoft is also in another wild spot with their financials. Again, I just don't understand how Star Wars Outlaws failed so badly. It really just, man, I'm so baffled by it. I know the game wasn't perfect when it first came out, but it was darn sure fun. I enjoyed it so doggone much. The graphics was on point. Gameplay felt good. And they continue to do updates on that game. They just had a new DLC, a new story DLC just released last week sometime. And it seems to be, I can't say if it's good or not. I don't know 100%, but it seemed like it could be something pretty good. It's just amazing to me that a game like that failed. I just don't understand. Why do y'all think it failed? It wasn't because it was a female protagonist, a main female protagonist, or was it just something else? Because when I played the game, I just couldn't understand why people had such a disdain for it. Just don't get it. But anyway, I'm not going to get all hooked up into that. Let's get into the next story that I got from Inside Gaming. So not only did we get an update on Prince of Persia, we also got an update on EA Motive's Iron Man via a new job listing for a level designer. Now it reads, the position that is, and I quote, Motive is looking for a level designer to create extremely fun, satisfying game levels that align with our creative vision. End of quote. So nothing too crazy there, but here's where it gets a little interesting when it comes to the under the responsibilities section. It reveals that the company requires the level designer to, quote, design and build major single player levels, end of quote. Now, it's also possible the game could also have or feature RPG elements, because one of the qualifications requires the level designer to have, quote, experience in single player action RPG games as a level designer and or an avid player, end of quote. So could this mean the game will be open world, similar to Spider-Man, or semi-open world like Tomb Raider? Because when they talk about that they need this level designer to design and build major single player levels, quote, major single player levels, to me, that seems like that should be a little expansive. Just a little bit. Major single player levels? I mean, I don't know what the definition of that is. Whenever I think of anything that says major or has major in the front of it, I think, this has to be pretty big, or this is something real serious. So again, I'm not trying to overhype it and say that this is going to be an open world Iron Man game. I don't know. I don't know at all, but just going off of the wording and them talking about it could have RPG elements to it. We know that RPGs, I mean, you got your Western RPGs, you got your JRPGs, you got turn-based. I mean, RPG can mean a few things in today's landscape of gaming. So, I mean, just take that as it is. But I'm just saying, could you imagine an Iron Man game where you actually are in an open world, being able to just fly around this metro city, whether it's in California or, wherever it's going to take place? I don't know. It would be very, very interesting. But again, this game right here, this thing gets me so excited because it's being made in Unreal Engine 5. And just the fact that, again, it can have some RPG elements to it. It's single player, which I absolutely love, man. One time for the single player. God, dog. We need more, though. Continue to keep them coming. Always makes me so happy to see these single player games continue to exist, because sometimes I wonder if the free to play games have not ruined gaming to a certain degree, because it seems like nobody wants to play the single player gaming experience anymore. When I say nobody, I'm not literally saying nobody, but sometimes you look at the sales of some of these games and you just say, how? I mean, Astrobot is phenomenal. And I don't even think that Joker sold 2 million copies. On a player base that's over 70 million. What they say, PlayStation has shipped. Hold on, man. Good grief. I got to look this up. How many PlayStation 5s have been sold? 77.8 million units worldwide. Now it seems like they actually said that this number is close to PlayStation 4's sales of 79.1 million in a similar time frame. So it's actually trailing a little behind the PlayStation 4, but that's kind of understandable because we've had some price hikes. The economy is, man, we're in a bad place, with the economy and all of those type of situations. Everybody, not everybody, good Lord. But some people, unfortunately, not having the same work that they once had. Things are really tight and stuff is just so expensive. So just the fact that they are trailing behind, that's just an indicator of just how rough it has been this generation as a whole. Because, I mean, we're talking about sales of consoles going up this time out, but we can't forget PlayStation had already done this stuff before. I had to pay an extra $50 for my PlayStation 5 when I bought it. I mean, it did come with God of War, Ragnarok, so it did ease the blow, but nonetheless, it was still an extra $50 to actually buy the console. So again, these things are going in reverse. Nothing is getting cheaper. It's only getting more expensive. So yeah, you get the numbers that you get, but it just baffles me sometimes that some of these games just don't sell more, and they're actually really, really great games. So, again, I definitely want the single player experience to stay around, because once that goes, I'm just going to be retro gaming for the rest of my days. Once they stop making good gosh, I hope that never happens. But if they ever stop making single player gaming experiences, that is it. That is my threshold. I am OUT. So much so, hey man, listen to this. Now, I don't have this quote, but Zelnick, the CEO over at Rockstar, well, I should say Take-Two. Do you know that this brother said that he would argue that Rockstar has made multiple Grand Theft Auto games in a year? Multiple. And I believe he said that. Hold on. I'm going to try to find this quote, man. Hold on. What did CEO Zelnick mean by Grand Theft Auto maker Rockstar creating multiple Grand Theft Autos in a year?
It seems there might be a misunderstanding in your question. Rockstar Games, the maker of Grand Theft Auto, does not typically release multiple mainline Grand Theft Auto games within a single year. Historically,
you ain't even got to say no more. That's what I'm saying. Even Gemini knows that these jokers do not release multiple games in a year. I am taking it. Again, I don't have the article up right now, but I am taking it that what Zelnick meant, what Mr. Zelnick meant was they have done multiple updates for Grand Theft Auto Online, and that actually counts as them making a new Grand Theft Auto, which is bananas to me that he would say that if it was said in that context. I'm not going to sit up here and try to pull up the article to waste more of you guys' time, but that's what I'm guessing. And if that's the case, yet again, online gaming, I don't knock anybody that does it. But again, if it goes anywhere, single player leaves in favor of online only gaming experiences, that's it. But according to Zelnick, they've done multiple Grand Theft Autos in a year's time. My goodness. Let's go ahead though, guys, and let's get into the next story. I'm hoping we see something on Iron Man 2. That would be dope before the end of the year. But this next story comes from Pure Xbox. So ever since H-Blade 2, y'all know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Ninja Theory. H-Blade 2, ever since that game is released, which has been, I would say, what has it been, almost a year ago now, we haven't heard anything from, like I said, one of my favorite studios, Ninja Theory. But due to a post on Twitter, they may be gearing up to show us something, because their post says this, and I quote, "Always great to come together at the studio and share with each other the work we've been doing. #life at Ninja," end of quote. And with the caption, there was actually, again, on Twitter, with that caption, it was a picture of the team sitting down looking at a TV screen that was blurred out. You couldn't make out the image, didn't see what it was. They blurred the whole thing out. So could that image on that TV be Project Mora? Now that was teased back in 2020. That's the only title that I believe that Ninja Theory is working on. Of course, doesn't necessarily mean that's the only game that they're working on. It could be something in-house that they haven't shown off yet, and maybe it was a picture of that. But I'm hoping that with them actually doing this small tease, that maybe, they could be at Microsoft's Xbox showcase, next month. But only time will tell. These guys, I know that they kind of dropped the ball in certain areas with H-Blade 2, but graphically, you gotta say, man, that game was beautiful. I don't have an Xbox Series X. I probably will not be buying one this generation because, again, the games just seem to magically make their way over to PlayStation. Now, again, we haven't heard any news about H-Blade 2 or Starfield actually coming over to PlayStation. That has not been confirmed yet, but we also know one thing that Xbox did say that they will start doing at their own shows, and that's actually letting you know what games are going to be going over to PlayStation. And we got a small preview of that last year when we saw Indiana Jones pop up on the screen coming to PlayStation 5 the following guy.
Move this man!
I tell you, Phil doggone Spencer, his brother, right? Yeah. God, dog. And I understand that he's not the end-all be-all for Xbox. He still has bosses, but goodness gracious. Man, oh man. Anyway, I have beat that horse to death. We're going to just go ahead and move on to VGC. This is actually some Switch news. Oh my gosh. So the Switch 2, oh man, the Switch 2 it is and does have some up-to-date features, but one key feature will be missing. Now, a spokesperson told Nintendo Life, quote, Nintendo Switch 2 supports VRR in handheld mode only. The incorrect information was initially published on Nintendo Switch 2's website, and we apologize for the error. End of quote. Error, I should say. Now, when they were asked if VRR could be actually put over into dock mode via a firmware update, Nintendo said, quote, we have nothing to announce on this topic. End of quote. Oh my gosh. Man.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
This is crazy. Here it is. You got this VRR, technology, and it only works in handheld mode. It doesn't work in dock mode. And this thing is $450 to $500. And these are standard features in the PlayStation 5 and in the Series X. I don't know about the S, probably the S. But it's only going to be available. Oh man, it ain't that funny. It's really not that darn funny. It's more so like, I ain't even going to say it's sad. It's just confusing. How are you going to put it in handheld mode and not dock mode? I just don't understand that. I would think that more people would be playing this. I don't know. Maybe they're just catering to their market. Maybe more people are playing the Switch in handheld mode than in dock mode. I know for me, it's going to be docked. I refuse to play the Switch in handheld mode. I'm not going to take it on the road with me. It's only going to be at home. It's going to be my at-home console. So they're missing VRR, which is very important. It helps with the frame rate. You would rather it be in... Anyway, I'm not going to keep beating this horse. We'll see what happens with this. Maybe Nintendo will eventually put it in via a patch, and you'll be able to have the VRR support with the console when it's actually docked. But only, and I do mean only, time will tell. Anyway, that is the end of the gaming news this week, which leads us into the final section of the podcast. And again, I want to thank y'all for being here. Really appreciate it. But I have a question for y'all, and I mentioned it a little earlier. I was talking about PlayStation actually including, PlayStation Plus inside of the bundle with the PlayStation 5, and talking about 4% of people don't think that the premium tier of PlayStation Plus is worth the money. So my question to you is just simply, is PlayStation Plus worth the money? Now, I get that they have some perks. Sometimes I look on that store and I see, man, I could have got a discount even further with this game that's actually on sale. Could have saved another $3, $4, sometimes $5. And I'm like, man, that would have been nice. I would have enjoyed that. But would I really had used PlayStation Plus to its max And probably not. I'm not going to be online. Not going to be doing any chatting on PlayStation Plus, anything like that. So it's not worth it to me, but I'm just curious. Let's just say this. Now, of course, I can't make the question this way because it would be too long, but let's say that you didn't need PlayStation Plus for online. Would you actually be willing to still pay for it? You can still go online. Don't have to pay for it. I'm repeating myself. You don't have to pay for it. But the things you get are you get perks with certain games, maybe certain games. You get a certain percentage off of being a member, and you get certain games every month. You know that some games are going to be coming down the pike, which you can get. Like that RoboCop. That RoboCop game, I think that was last month. Man, that was a big get. I mean, listen, I'm talking a little bit about him right now, but that right there, getting that RoboCop game, that was a real good hit, man. That was a good one. That was a good one. That was pretty good, man. I can't front on them for that one. That one was pretty good. But that's the question for this week. Again, is PlayStation Plus worth the money? If you want to be a part of the conversation, do it two different ways. You can either call into the show at 443-627-9087 and let your voice be heard. Or you can email the show, and the email address is simply the name of the show. It's the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com. I got you next week, Cody Clark. But with that being said, before we wrap this thing up and put a bow on it, always remember one thing. It is not about the consoles. It is about the games. So until next Sunday when we do it again, until then, you guys take care. Be safe out there. Bye-bye.